either ban or pick, but let's see what teams think about it. Yudu Red Giants starting off with the Diggy and the Joy ban, whereas for Burn X Flash, no Kadita, no Fanny, and Yudu Red Giants banned the Fredrin.
Yeah, not interested to take the Fedrin. So besides the Fedrin, well, we have. I won't be surprised if we do see something different in the jungle. But if they do pick like a Hayabusa again, that'll be great because we naturally don't get to see as many Hayabusas. Martis will be an interesting pick as well for Yudu Red Giants. Anti-CC, there's always you can't go wrong with picking the Martis being an anti-CC. So that will give a bit more of a headache for Burn X Flash in case they want to go for group CC type of plays.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the Ling also ban out as well. I think this was your. I think this is one of the heroes that you did point out, right? Diggy was picked in one of the Burn X Flash games. It was game 1 against EVOS Icon. I think Yudu Red Giants picked up on it very easily. But banning out the Diggy also opens you up to a lot of picks that just hates the Diggy, right? I think Minotaur is a very, very good example. We've seen them run the Edith as well. Any huge crowd control heroes will benefit from not having a Diggy on the enemy team. Claude first pick by Yudu Red Giants, something that we don't see too often. Whereas for Burn X Flash, they're going to pivot a little bit. They bring out the Uranus.
Uranus seems to be quite a meta here in the Snapdragon Pro Series so far. A lot of teams find it very difficult to deal with the Uranus. Although the win rate is not like 100%, but the win rate is fairly good, and it's really annoying to have that Uranus as your opponent. Like what you said yesterday, Uranus is this spoiled brat that you somehow just need to ignore. But if it comes in your face, well, you still have to do something about it.
Yeah, I have a better analogy, right? Because I think a lot of our audience are younger audience, so I need to speak in Gen Z term. Uranus is like those internet trolls, okay? It's like your cyber troopers, as they call it. So they're there, they leave very mean comments, or they say things to garner your attention. And every time you react to them, you start this thread, they get empowered by your reaction. So do not respond to these guys. Just block them, remove them from your friend list if they are in your friend list. Either way, we see the Dyrov picked up by Yudu Red Giants, and I believe Dyrov wasn't picked yesterday in any of the matches that they played. I mean, they did play RG Philippines. That one, there's no Dyrov. They played 3 games against Echo and actually picked it once, and that was the game that they won against Echo. So this is the second Dyrov pick, and they also finished it off with the E.
Yeah, I like how your analogy reminds me of Jace. But anyway, so Dyrov, I guess this is the answer towards Uranus. He's able to melt down tanks and Uranus naturally. Well, as long as you can get like a Dyrov, or if you can get like a carry, that'll be great against a Uranus. But of course, we'll need to see whether the Dyrov will be sticking with Uranus, or he still has the ability to roam around and is able to take down Uranus as quickly as possible, especially during the early stages.
And that was something that I think me and Jay discussed a little bit, right? Well, what heroes do you want to do with the Uranus? I know that you can pick heroes to cut wave just like he does. You play this very boring game between the inhibitor and the tier 2, or you pick someone that can just shred the Uranus early on, and the Dyrov is one of the best options. So it's glad to see you Red Giants pick that up. Hayabusa banned out by Burn X Flash. They definitely have done their homework. That is a hero that Skies did play yesterday, and they completely demolished RSG Philippines in their first game. Kaja will be banned out by Yudu Red Giants.
So now Yudu Red Giants, I do expect them to pick a tanky hero. But I also want to see them picking something that's able to go onto the backline. So perhaps something like a Kufra would be great as well, because they need to know that they're dealing with the Leslie that can put on a good distance when it comes to team fights. So I guess if a Kufra would be great, especially a Kufra that needs to aim towards getting the Leslie in a certain angle.
So 4 junglers banned out by Burn X Flash. A lot of emphasis onto Skies. Again, with the Fredrin ban out, there's 5 junglers. So it does make me wonder, right? What else is left on the table for Yudu Red Giants? They will ban out the Franco, so both point and click guaranteed crowd control ultimates taken out of the game as well. It does leave something to be desired. I wonder if this sets up for potential Dyrov to be flexed into the jungle. I don't see it as a likely option. I think if you want an assassin jungler, the Paquito is still up on the table.
I have a feeling that the multiple bans on the jungler is more to protect Mitch. With Mitch coming in the lineup, and I guess he's going to play the Martyrs, a very can't go wrong sort of hero, anti-CC as we talked about earlier on in this draft. So I think it's more to protect him rather than them trying to ban out Sakai, because Sakai has shown that he has the versatility of playing multiple types of jungler. So do you really want to try to ban Sakai when he has a good amount of a jungler pool? Probably not.
Absolutely. I mean, again, right? You look at what Judo Red Giants still need to look out for. There's the jungler, there's the roamer. And one thing that's missing from the side of Burn X Flash is kind of like the roamer themselves, right? So there it is, the Paquito jungle again brought out. It was the same, XP and jungle jungle combination that they had when they went up against Echo, where you just have double assassins of the XP and jungle. So this quadrant of the map becomes absolutely deadly because Daryl can destroy you 1v1, and the Paquito also destroys you 1v1. Kufra being the last pick for that engage potential, and now Burn X Flash, they will have to decide on their roamer.
Yeah, to a certain extent, the Paquito can also deal with Uranus. So in case like the D-Rob needs help, Paquito can come in and they can take down Uranus probably in the early stages rather than allowing him to play the boring game. And it's so annoying just to see a Uranus. If it's your opponent being on your side, it's so annoying to see that Uranus just being behind your turret. So maybe they plan to take that down early. But this is an interesting pick. Cho will allow Burn X Flash to have a lot of mobility here. So the Cho will be looking to take down the Claude at the backline.
And I think it's also a very versatile roamer as well. You can help your teammates disengage if needed to, right? You look at the side of you, the Red Giants, they love to dive into your face and just stick onto you, take you out. But with a Cho, you can disengage if you need to. It also gives you the potential to just catch targets out of position, and every single Will of the Dragon is going to be important. We don't have the Franco, we don't have the Kaja. Well, the third best choice is definitely the Cho.
Yeah, and also I guess the Cho is also to deal with the Eve because of the real world manipulation. So you want someone who is able to like, okay, turn on real world manipulation, that's fine. I go behind, I stop you, and I try to take you down, or even try to just kick Eve away as Eve was getting into position of coming up with the real world manipulation. So that could be one of the strategies that's used for a Cho. I mean, Cho is also one of those heroes that you can't go wrong with.
I mean, that would be doable if it was the old Eve, but the new Eve ignores all these crowd controls. So I think Cho is a bit out of luck. But I do agree, right? You still have a way to kind of reach the backline if Eve doesn't have the real manipulation. So it's not all doom and gloom. We just have to see how Burn X Flash plays this out. Again, they are playing with their coach as the jungler, which is going to be Coach Mitch. So there's a lot to be desired. He's playing a very, very important role on this Martyrs jungle. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 between you, the Red Giants, and Burn X Flash.
Oh, I can already imagine the retribution battle later on between Sakai and as well as Mitch. Definitely has to hit it right on the mark, especially when it comes to the main objectives, the Lord as well as the Turtle later on. That's why they're being compared right now on screen, Sakai and Mitch. Honestly, it is a scary thought, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like when you look at how the stakes are for this game, I think if you're on the side of Burn X Flash, you definitely feel a lot more of that pressure. Partly because one of your players you had to play with a stand-in today, and on the other end you are also holding kind of the top 4 reputation from MSC 2023, right? That was just kind of a month plus ago, compared to you, the Red Giants, a team who just debuted in the previous season, who hasn't really had much international accolades to them. They haven't really achieved anything on the regional stage. You would think that as an MSC top 4, you have the obligation to beat them.
Yes, true enough. Oh, things would have been easier if only yesterday they won against RSG SG. Then today's game, they will be like, okay, cool, fine. But because they lost against RSG SG yesterday, then this game is very, very important for Burn X Flash.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, you also have Burn X Flash playing with the full lineup yesterday. So there are some variables that I think can be considered. I don't feel that it would be kind of the break it the be or end all kind of factor, but overall it will still throw in a wrench, right? I think you look at Red Giants, most importantly is how far can they take this? Taking out RSG Philippines, I think is one of the most impressive things because you are taking out a championship lineup from MSC 2022 and it was a 2-0 victory. I think that itself made the entirety of day one fulfilling for the squad, but right now they are going up against another MSC team, right? So you kind of have this boss rush scenario. And also, Red Giants took one game off of Echo. I guess that is also something that they can look back and be like, well, we actually can do it. We just need to tighten up some of that plays.
Yeah, I mean, okay. At the end of the day, right? If you want to be the champions, you gotta be prepared to beat everyone. So whoever it is, whether it's Bird Splash, whether it's Echo, or you gotta be able to beat them, right? So at the end of the day, if you are Red Giants, you're coming in and all these big teams, you have to have that mentality of like, okay, it doesn't matter who you are, we are here on the same stage, we deserve to be here. And plus, they qualified from the previous series onto the stage. So they fought more games naturally, and that allowed them to be here. And that just shows that they are among the best because they can do that too.
Yeah. Of course, we are having our marshals just kind of deal with this tech pause a little bit. Hopefully everything would be fixed by the end of the day. If anyone who is watching there right now, do remember to stay hydrated. This is a public service announcement. I think the weather has not been kind lately, whether in Jakarta or any other parts of the world. It has been a pretty hot, Cloud. For me, I'm at a stage where the air conditioning is too cold, but the fan is too warm.
Oh, I guess lucky you then. It's always warm at where I are.
Yeah, but you know the feeling when you turn on the air conditioner and it's too cold, but when you turn it off, it's too hot, and you're stuck in the middle. There's no good temperature, right? So just stay healthy out there. I think a lot of us tend to forget to take care of ourselves, but it's good to see the members of Red Giants kind of in good spirits. Just putting out the heart sign just now. So I think that mentality is very important. You have been an analyst before, right? You've been a coach to other teams from other different genres. So any insights on that? How do you make sure that your boys kind of stay in a positive mental state before going into a big game?
Right. So I guess there are two parts to this, right? So one is the health state of the players, right? So for the health state of the players, I would say the thing about it in esports, right? Like we are not used to we come like maybe a week before. Like normally when the players come, it's like a day before the next day, then it's already maybe they have a rehearsals, technical setup, and then the following day is already game day for them. So the timeline is really short to adapt to the environment there. So I guess to a certain extent, a way to manage this is just to plan time to arrive earlier, like maybe give it a week for everyone to settle down, and they can still play, they can still practice, they can still play scrims there. And naturally, this feeds into the second part of your question. If they are healthy, then they will be motivated. But if someone's unhealthy, and if you're one player out even, then the rest of them will be like, oh no, are we in a bad situation now? So you don't want to put them in that kind of situation in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can see kind of the different atmosphere for both teams, right? You can clearly see on the side of Burnex Flash, there is a bit more of that tension. Again, today is a very, very important day for them. And not just for them, I think for all the other teams, especially those who are 1-1 or 0-2, you have to be winning your games because there are only 6 slots in top 6, and by tomorrow, especially for the teams in Group A, they're not going to have much games to play tomorrow. In fact, they only have one last series to play tomorrow as compared to Group B, who are going to have 2 series for majority of these teams. So you got to make use of today. I mean, at least for Group A, today is sort of like their final day.
Yeah, so it's going to be really tight, right? Like Group A, just looking at the overall points again, it's so tight. Like we got Red Giants, RSG Philippines, RSG Singapore, Bird Splash, everyone with the same amount of points. So just by playing today itself, the swap could be crazy. Echo, arguably, okay, assuming that Echo loses all their following games, right? Like worst case scenario for them. they could still be pushed down. So they're still not in a really comfortable position yet. Yes, they are okay, but you want to end up in the first place because of a better seeding anyway.
And I tell you the craziest part. So Echo actually yesterday they went 2-1 against Real Red Giants. They also went 2-1 against Evo's Icons. Tell me that isn't enough proof that Group A is the land of opportunity. It's crazy. I think when you look back at what these two teams have kind of brought to the table, right? We haven't gotten much time to talk about the draft, so now we will have some more room to kind of raise that a little bit. We look at what Euro Red Giants has: double assassin in the XP lane and the jungle. They have the Claude, Kufra as well. What is going to be that win condition? What is Euro Red Giants going to be looking for in this game?
Ooh, I guess now that they have information that Mitch is actually playing, I guess they really want to try to exploit the jungle. I guess their win condition is that if they can overtake the jungle, like maybe they can even ignore the Uranus. As long as they can clear off the jungle, they can invade, they can clear off the jungle, probably they will be okay.
So again, just kind of like you target the player the standard, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the ways, right? You break the spirit of the man. Or Euro Red Giants just taking a bit of that time out as well. I love to see these kind of behind the scenes stuff. Like I feel like we don't get enough of this. A lot of people, I think, at a certain point when they see like their favorite players play, you sort of forget that there are also people behind the phones. Look at how you do, boys, just cleaning the table or whatever it is. Maybe too much talcum powder. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess they're also trained to keep the gaming house nice and clean. So they're so used to it. It's like, okay, whenever I see something on the desk, it's like, okay, before my coach tells me to, I better do it. Before a manager walks into the room, I better do it. Keep it nice and clean.
Especially, do you do that with your team?
Actually, yes. Yeah, because it's a form of exercise.
Oh yeah, I've been to pretty untidy gaming places before. It's not the best experience. I think it's not good for the players overall. I mean, so it starts from home.
Yeah,
hopefully
correct.
we get this resorted. I believe it was a ping pause from the side of Bird Flash, so you can see that the crew is kind of solving that problem right now for them. It does give this team some sort of some of that breathing room. I think if you are Burnex Flash, that is even more important right now that you have your coach kind of on the set with you. I think it feels a bit different as well, because normally you look at the role of a coach and you're like, well, this guy is good at the game, but he probably is better behind the scenes as someone who is kind of coming up with the strats, telling the team what to do, kind of breaking down what the enemy does, and now you have literally the chief commanding officer with you in the team.
But you know what? I have seen teams at this kind of stage, like when they play, they have to play with their coach for whatever reason, maybe like the same reason like today. To a certain extent, the team becomes more disciplined. Like, because the coach is there to remind them, like, okay, guys, stick with the plan. Rather than the coach being on the outside and he's only able to see from a different screen and, being in a different point of view. When you look at your players doing something, you're like, oh no, I told them not to do that. That sort of feeling. Now he is in the game together with them. He is able to control and dictate whatever plan that they have discussed to execute.
Yeah, and we see the teams kind of testing the ping out, and it seems like everything is fine and dandy. We're going to be jumping back into game number 1. Thank you very much for sticking with us. And now we get to ensure the best possible game quality. And now this is the matchup I want to see, right? I want to look at Dyrov against Uranus. Normally, a level 2 Uranus straight up just wins. But against Gojas, it's not that straightforward. ATM does have the Brave Smite, so you can do it a little bit. Meanwhile, the jungle invade coming in onto Mish already. Not able to do too much damage, but you kind of force him back a little bit.
Oh man, something that was kind of expected, that they would try to poke the jungle. So that also forces the rest of Bird Splash to give more protection to Mitch. We can see D7 playing around Mitch. He's close by. Obviously, C-Cat as well, because he's a mid laner, so he can rotate towards wherever Mitch is. So now Mitch has bodyguards. But that also means that the players will be pulled towards him, and they have lesser opportunity to farm.
Maybe a slow start, waiting for the level 4. Turtle will be kind of the point of contention. I mean, Yudori Giants, they have massive damage in these early skirmishes, right? Dyrov and Paquito absolutely just assassinates everyone they come into contact with. This C-Cat gonna try and play out the wave as much as possible alongside that QT. Burn X Splash on the turtle first, instantly flicker into the Tyrant's Rage. That's gonna be Goldjess diving in and trying to protect the turtle. Will be Yudori Giants to take it away. Skies gets it, and Goldjess with the first blood onto mid.
Unfortunate for Mitch there. Now D7 as well as ATM, they try to get a revenge, but not able to secure the kill onto ZQT. So they were all disengaged right now. But this is worrying though. So, okay, I know it's just the first kill. I know it's just first blood onto Mitch, but these are signs.
And I think the fact that Goldjess got that first blood, right, makes life for ATM slightly harder as well. I think that the biggest nightmare whenever you play up against a Dyrov is that if he starts snowballing, they can open engage again, ATM cannot dash and instantly cut to shreds. And that's the Uranus punished.
So this is how you deal with the Uranus. Instead of playing fire with fire, you counter cutting the wave and all that. You just go engage with it. But of course, you need to have the right hero. So they made the right move there to take down Uranus. And now with Uranus going down once, he will be a little bit more cautious to play at the lane.
And it does demand attention from the rest of Burn X Splash as well. Goldjess is 2 levels ahead of ATM. ATM has no flicker. And the best part is that Goldjess can now just man fight this Uranus without any worries, right? You are always going to win those fights. And remember, he does have Festival of Blood. So it's not like ATM is going to outlast him. ATM is not going to have health to work with. One of the few things that Uranus likes to do, he gets to low health, pops Consecration, heals back to full, and he laughs in your face. But Dyrov, he sees you at low health, he's going to absolutely destroy you with his ultimate.
Yeah, so that's why you can see he will be sticking with ATM. And this is where ATM will be locked. Or I'll be looking forward to see what's going to happen here at the side. We got Mish, we got D7. Pancake is there just to scout out whether D7 is still there. But now the engagement onto Pancake. But Pancake being the tank, he should be alright.
Actually, I'm surprised that they actually decided to kick him. He's the way the dragon, but the damage is just not there from Mitch. Not enough. Even deal with the tank. Now without the kick, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. 4 members of Burn X Splash. Turtle is going to get reset, reward manipulation used very early on by C-Cat, forcing Yudori Giants to fall back a little bit. Pancake taking the snipe in the face. The entirety of Yudori Giants is going to be there. Super Red stacking up the passive for the ultimate. Watch out for Pancake, to engage straight into C-Cat, and he is gone. Nothing that Burn X Splash could do. They do trade one back, but they end up losing Mitch. ATM wants to stop Turtle take, and it's not possible. Look at ATM getting turned into cash almost. Burn X Splash forced to retreat.
I noticed a rotation coming from the bottom lane from ATM, but look at the amount of damage that's able to be dished out by Gorgeous. ATM doesn't stand a chance to even last a good 5 seconds in that fight.
This Dyrov 2-0 so far. Again, ahead in terms of levels and in net worth. D7, Flicker misses the Jikundo, still goes for the kick, commits onto Skies, wants to take him down. Skies can't get away. He's just pinned against the wall. Burn X Splash with the punish.
Oh, Skies. Unfortunately, he was caught out there, but anyway, he opened up space for the top lane, so Super Red will be happy to take down the turret. At the bottom lane, Gorgeous is in trouble.
They steal that Abyssal Strike. There's gonna be the snipe. Yeah, Leslie finds that. Lovely punish from Burn X Splash. You need to slow down this Dyrov.
And look at the amount of space that Super Red has at the top. I mean, we don't talk about Super Red that much because he has all the space to play with, and including this kill maybe onto Mitch, but Mitch survives as C-Cat is there anyway. So right now we can see that because ATM cannot play on the lane just like how Uranus will play, he's joining with his team on team fights or giving more protection to his team instead.
An attempt to punish Gorgeous again. The kick is there from D7. Donut looking to get in range. Will have to snipe. Damage insufficient to take down Gorgeous, but Sky's gonna show up. D7 is the target. Bit of the poke and prod down bottom, but no kills.
Oh, ATM now. He knows that, okay, if it's against Super Red, he'll be okay. As long as Gorgeous is not there. But who needs Gorgeous if you got 3 onto him? Oh, the real world manipulation specially done for ATM. Mitch coming for the backline can't do much.
Very unlucky. Walks into the perimeter of the real manipulation, gets rooted instead. Not that he could do much, like you said. D7 going for an invade, but this time runs into almost the entirety of the Red Giant. So overextending the flicker Tyrant's Rage into Donut. CCAT using the stolen RWM, blocking Pancake in place, and that's going to be a kill for Mitch with the Decimate. Burn X Flash finding a response.
Oh well, but at least for Burn X Flash, they're not in a position to contest for the turtle. So this turtle is given to Yudu Red Giants, still with a goal lead, but the goal lead is not that big despite them securing all the objectives so far. Only about 2K difference.
And I think that is good news if you are a Burn X Flash fan, right? You are able to punish Gojez, kind of slow him down a little bit. You caught the Paquito, and just now, you're able to punish Yudu Red Giants in those small skirmish. Mitch, you go in with the Ashura's Aura. Not finding the members of Yudu Red Giant. Flicker forward into an RWM. Locking the Leslie down. D7 finds the kick onto Gojaz, but the Dyrov is going to stick onto you. D7 on the run. Burn X Flash losing their marksman.
Ooh. I mean, Burn X Flash, they had an idea, but unfortunately, they couldn't execute it as well. And speaking about ATM doing the wave cutting thingy, he's doing it at the top lane right now. And so he's just going to stay away from Yudu Red Giants. He's just going to do the total opposite of wherever they are. But that exposes his other teammates to the number of people that Yudu Red Giants has on their side.
You see, I mean, the amount of damage from Gojez and Skies, right? We talked about it. This double assassin is lethal. They killed the Martyrs in one fell swoop, which is kind of a crazy thought, but you have ATM then in the base of Yudu Red Giants, cutting 2 waves at once, finally demanding some attention from Yudu Red Giants themselves. It's going to be Skies that takes care of business. ATM just need to hold on for as long as possible. Pop the Consecration. Super Red will be there. They're going to look to hand it over to the Claude. No, it's going to be Skies that takes it, but it does buy space for the rest of the team.
Well, I guess because of the gap to a certain extent, ATM, he can't tank as much as he would have liked. So the moment Yudu Red Giants send like 2 players down there, he's pretty much gone. And they don't even need Gojez in the process.
Yeah, Gojez 4-1 and 2 right now. What is Donut looking for? Can't find anything at this stage. In Burn X Flash, they need space, and I think ATM has definitely created that space for them. But Yudu Red Giants now will be looking for the Lord.
And so I guess it's a trade-off of his life versus getting the space for a Burn X Flash, right? But let's see if they can make use of the space now. They are surrounding Yudu Red Giants, but I don't see them able to engage. They are quite behind.
They gotta get in fast though. A bit too slow. Skies will take the Lord. No contest. ATM in danger. Gojez falling back. Donut couldn't finish him off in time. The Decimate used by Mitch, but ends up getting taken down by Super Red. This Claude is a menace, and Burn X Flash, they don't get anything. Yudu Red Giant walks away with the Lord.
Ooh, another kill onto Minchi. But the good news is that Minchi managed to get 2 kills for it. So it's doing not that bad. It is just that the overall team execution, I don't know. Is it the chemistry? Is it the sixth sense? You know, when you execute something, sometimes you don't need to say, you just do it and everyone just follows. Maybe Michi not playing as much with the team, not able to execute as flawless as if Shima would have played together with them.
It could be, right? You also have Yudu Red Giants getting an early lead as well, so they did blow the flicker and the consecration of ATM. Meanwhile, Yudu Red Giants getting sniped from afar by Donut. Not something they're too worried about. Starting to starve out the jungle of Burn X Flash. Lord crashing in from the top side. Ideally, if you can take an inhibitor, that would be great, but it's not going to be that simple. RWM used as well. Stolen dual manipulation. Response from CCAT. That inhibitor turret ends up staying alive, but maybe not for long. Yudu Red Giants have a new minion wave and they will break it. Burn X Flash base is now exposed. Oh
yeah, wave management. Done well by Yudu Red Giants. 2 waves back to back pretty much, and that is enough for them to take down the turret. They almost Burn X Flash almost lost the mid turret though, but luckily ATM was there to just clear off the wave. If not, they would have lost at least 2. But it's okay for Yudu Red Giants because they're in control right now, and they have the map secured. They emptied the jungle for Burn X Flash. Now Burn X Flash has another issue: is where to farm.
Well, in this case, I think the side lanes, right? You still have the top tier 1 available from Yudu Red Giants. That would be a minor source of gold. You can see that Donut will be farming that lane. D7 by his side. just to keep him safe. They're not even hard shoving the wave because they're so worried that Yudo Giants might be there. But after seeing 3 members of Yudo showing down bot, Burnex Flash, they're going to commit to this.
And finally, they're going to take the top turret. So Donut will be there. But for Yudo Red Giants, I guess to a certain extent, they're playing this very disciplined. They're just waiting for the next Lord to come up before they make the big move.
25 more seconds until that. The Yudo Red Giants are 6.8k ahead in terms of goal. But you always have to keep in mind, right? When Burnex Flash hit that late game, you have a Leslie on the team. Donut is going to start destroying your front lines with the true damage.
So now I'm trying to think of like what's the comeback mechanism for Burnex Flash at this moment, right? It's hard to see Yudo Red Giants making mistakes. So I guess for Burnex Flash, number one is of course to chase up in terms of farm. Number two, if you can't take the fight head on, try to do what ATM has been doing all this while. Try to cut waves and try to find those opportunity to do the split push the moment you can cut a wave.
I think ATM has finally been able to breathe a little bit more. Lord will be on the top side. And you can see Burnex Flash, they're not even going to bother about contesting the Lord, right? Yudo Red Giant just shredded the objective so fast, but ATM is going to have Sky to deal with. This Paquito max level already. And ATM is going to find it a bit troublesome. If Sky just cuts that wave, ATM will basically have all of this work undone. Lord in the top side dealt by Mitch and Donut, but this mid wave is going to crash in. Yudo Red Giants looking to break it, and instantly you can see CCat will use that flicker just so he doesn't get caught by the removal manipulation, even use the stolen RWM, but unfortunately it's not enough to stop Yudo Red Giants from breaking the mid turret. Pancake jumps
D7?
in, D7 from the back, there it is, the kick on the ZQT, that's enough to take him down. D7 on the run, trying to make his way out, but Super Red finds the kill. Super Red goes in with the battle mirror image, but Burnex Flash, now they have found the fight that they are looking for. ATM on the chase, but Super Red chunking him down, Mitch with the follow-up, but again, the damage from Super Red is overwhelming. Super Red running down Burnex Flash, ATM to fall, Super Red with a double, CCat and Donut, they cannot fight this anymore.
Oh, Donut managed to trade it back with a kill. So at least with that, Burnex Flash still survived. The game is not over yet. And Yudo Red Giants will need to reset. And with this reset, they'll be looking forward to the next Lord instead.
The game goes on, Cloud. We're going to get a heck of a game one. Yudo Red Giants still in the driver's seat though. Almost, you know, I think the highest net worth lead was almost 9,000. They're back in the spot. Burnex Flash, as much as they are near 10,000 behind, they're putting up a pretty good fight against Yudo Red Giants. Decent resistance.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the items, some of the key items already done. Okay, I do see a Dominance Eyes there. I do see a Guardian Helmet. That's pretty nice as well for Mitch. So that means Mitch, he aims to just survive. So it does look like his setup is more of like, try to absorb as much damage as possible. Maybe because mechanically he's not prepared for it. So instead of trying to do the sexy stuff like going for the backline, try to get the kills, like try to draw attention onto him, try to be the target, and all his other teammates counter after the skills are thrown onto him.
I just want to commend D7 for finding that engage just now. It really did buy the team some time, but he has to do it a couple more. And Yudo Red Giants will be a lot more aware this time as the Lord will spawn.
And Yudo Red Giants, but this time Burnex Flash is ready to contest for it. So this is going to be really important. If Burnex Flash fails this, especially if they lose place in the process, that's it. Yudo Red Giants can close up the game.
D7 looking for a kick, finds it, but the angle is not there. So ZQ finishes him off, but look at that! Donut with the 2-shot onto Skies. The jungler for Yudo Red Giants is dead. Now Burnex Flash, massive opportunity to steal this away. The flicker from Pancake, not going to connect onto anyone with the Tyrant's Revenge. Gojek tries to steal it, cannot find it. It's Donut that secures the Lord of all people. And now Donut gets to reign supreme unless Super can stop him. Super finds Mitch. You got to do a bit more. Donut dealing damage as well. Both the marksmen putting in the work. CK with the flicker forward, forcing Yudo Red Giants to run. As Donut uses the snipe. Super 8 will block the final shot. Burnex Flash. I dare pull this game back, Cloud.
Wow. I mean, could this be the comeback here for Burn X Flash? Looking good so far. And now, with the amount of players that they still have, they can push on to the second turret. At the same time, the Lord is coming in the bottom turret. Yudu Red Giants will need to play the defensive game now.
Oh, they absolutely have to. Good news for Yudu Red Giants. All inhibitors from Burn X Flash have gone down. Bad news for Yudu Red Giants. This donut has come online. We said that Yudu Red Giants have a massive gold lead, right? But when you look at the net worth comparison between every single row, Donut actually has the same net worth as Super Red before the Lord fight. And now, he is definitely in the lead in terms of net worth compared to Super Red. We saw him two-shot Skies, and that's the Paquito with a 4K net worth ahead of Mitch. Pancake will try RWM, but look at the health of this Kufra. 2 shots from Donut, and he is out of the fight.
Oh, and now with the Lord pushing it onto the bottom lane, this is game time for Burn X Flash. Everyone's focused into the bottom. At the same time, ATM putting a lot of pressure onto the mid as they go in.
The kick from D7 finds ZaqT. The kick of a lifetime. Burn X Flash needed that. Now it's going to be a 4 versus 5. Super Red needs to go massive. They kill the Lord. Paquito doing massive damage on the side of Skies. They stop Burn X Flash from potentially ending the game, but still, this game is basically back in an even state, Cloud.
Yeah, this is insane now. Burn X Flash pretty much doing the comeback at this moment at least. And now, both teams have more than 50k gold. Item-wise, pretty sure they're almost done, almost at a full capacity. And so that means that it's now down to execution, down to the team that makes the first mistake will be punished. So far, Burn X Flash, they are holding the game back.
And Burn X Flash, D7, the hidden hero for the team. The catch is right, he has caught the Yi 2 times in these crucial fights already. The importance of this show is really shown, in the last couple of minutes. 23 more seconds until the 4th Lord of the game spawns. And whoever gets the Lord just wins the game at this point.
Yeah, it's 15 more seconds to the next Lord, right? That's why we can see Yudu Red Giants, they're going towards there. The Burn X Flash has most of their members there as well, except for ATM, clearing off the top lane. But like what you said, this Lord is going to be really important. Either side cannot afford to lose this.
Burn X Flash actually playing on the top side when they have Mitch poking at the Lord a little bit. This could be dangerous though. It could be a distraction, Cloud. We might see a setup for a potential backdoor. Burn X Flash, they have no intention to rush this Lord down.
I mean, look at this. So Mitch has immortality. His objective is just to be there. Like, just be the target man. So now Yudu Red Giants, I think they're starting to realize that, okay, we cannot throw everything onto Mitch. It's not going to be worthwhile. He's just a target man.
And
now
there it
at the top, wait a second.
They gotta engage onto Gojaz, but thankfully Gojaz bought some distance, so he's not kicked back into Burn X Flash. But Burn X Flash got the inhibitor turret anyways. ZaqT able to get away just in time. Donut breaks the immortality of Super Red, and he's dead. This Leslie is a force of nature from Burn X Flash. Is this how it ends? The minion wave is coming in. Lord secured by Skies, but you gotta get back to your base as soon as possible. ZaqT needs to clear the minion wave, and he has done just enough. Winter Trunk is gonna be there to protect Gojaz, and the lead pin from Pancake breaks ATM's immortality as well, as Skies takes out Mitch in a 1v1 duel, and Burn X Flash. It is not time for them to end the game just yet, and they might pay for it. The Lord is pushing down mid. Look at Skies. He's marching down mid with the Lord into the base of Burn X Flash. There's nothing that can stop him. Donut will try, but Skies and the Lord have done it. Game 1 for Yudu Red Giants. What a way to start this series.
Bro, what a game this is. Yudu Red Giants, I can sense them sweating buckets after that game. Can you believe it? They almost lost that at some point. Let's look at the relief of these players. They're like wiping their sweats away.
And let me tell you, as much as this is a victory for Yudu Red Giants in game 1, it was such a scrappy game from both teams. And I think they both have a good idea on how they want to close out the game, right? You look at Burn X